So you've created your first ad, fantastic news. Now what we do at this point typically is what we call a split test, sometimes called an A/B test. All it is creating a copy of your ad and changing one thing. Now why would we do that? Well, we just created an ad and it's kind of like our best guess, if you like, as to the best ad we could possibly come up with. But we don't really know until we go out there and test it on the market. We don't know whether it's going to respond that well or not. So what we'll do is we will basically create variations of that ad, and in this case I'm just going to create one, which is typically what I do. But often you'll see people create many variations of the ad and then basically test them all and see which one performs the best, yeah, and then drop the others. So it's basically a way of finding out by testing which one of your ads is going to perform the best. Now, it's entirely up to you whether you do this. It's not compulsory by any means. It's definitely worth, if you can, doing one. So at least one variation. But sometimes, for budgetary reasons, for example, because it will be another $3 a day to be doing this, you may not want to do it. So I totally understand if you don't want to, but if you can, I would certainly suggest you do it. In fact, I would strongly encourage you to do it. It's very important. So let's dive over to our Facebook ads now and see how we can actually put a split test together. So here we are, and this is the screen I left you looking at the end of the last lecture. And just to repeat, I am going to explain all these stats coming up. But right now, I just want you to recognize that we've got a campaign that we set up called the Heart-Shaped Dog Pendant Campaign 1. So if you click on that, you see, as I'm sure you remember, ad set 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a copy of the ad set. Okay, that's how we're going to do our split test. Now to do that, it's very straightforward. Just basically select it. And then here, just hit duplicate. And if you take existing campaign and just basically hit duplicate again, then it will pull up an exact copy of your ad set. It's even called an ad set 1 copy. Now the only thing we're going to change here, because we're going to keep everything at the ad set level exactly the same, is simply the name. So we're going to call it ad set 2. Okay, and click on publish. And then once that's all been accepted, just simply click on close. So now what you see is we have ad set 1 as we had before, and now ad set 2 as we just created. Now if I click in ad set 2, I will get to the advert itself. So here it is. And this is where we're going to make our one change. So what I want to do is click on edit. And at this point, as I just said, we are going to make one change. Now, why only one? Well, if you step back and think about it, we are wanting to test two different types of ads. We want to see whether making a change will make a difference to the number of people that are clicking and then ultimately buying from us. So let's say I changed two things. I changed the text and I also changed the image. And as a result, I got 100% more sales than before. Now that would be great, but I wouldn't know whether to attribute that to the change of the text or the change of the image. So by changing only one thing, if I just simply change the image, for example, and my sales go up by 100%, then I know for sure that it was all about the image. So I hope that makes it perfectly clear why we only ever change one thing. So here, to change the image, very easy. We just scroll down a bit until we find that image. We can click on Clear Images, and then we can select a different image. So I'll take this one with the black background this time. Again, maybe just do a little bit of editing, make sure it looks all right. There we go, pretty happy with that. Let's just say, and done. So that's it, we've changed one image. Now I've done this fairly quickly, and to be honest, that's not the best image that I want. I'd probably zoom in a little bit more and make that a bit clearer. But I'm trying to make the point of the one change. That's what this lecture is all about. So here, all I now need to do is click on publish. And once that's all done, just click on close. And now just go back to the campaign, okay, where we started. And if you click on that link to the campaign, and if I go into the ad set 1, you can see this is the one running with the white background. And if I go into ad set 2, you can see that's the one running with
the black background. Now, as I said right at the beginning, it's not absolutely essential. I appreciate that we're now spending another $3 a day. But if you can, really go for it. It's a very, very important part of advertising, split testing or A/B testing, whatever you want to call it. And this is a very, very basic example, but it is enormously powerful. And in the long run, it can pay huge dividends. So congratulations, not only have we set up our first ad, but we now have a split test running. So in the next lecture, let's talk about what all these numbers mean, because while these ads are currently in review, as you can see here, they'll soon be running and we're going to start seeing numbers popping up here. So it'd be good to know what they all mean.